Hello everybody, happy Toyah Day. I hope you've had a fantastic week and that you've got a really great weekend ahead of you with good weather, hopefully. Now, the song we're going to feature first on today's At Home with Toyah is Echo Beach, produced by Mike Hedges and Hayden Bendel Engineering. Now, Hayden Bendel is a really interesting character. He was the engineer on Kate Bush's Hounds of Love. So we had a lot in common when we started working together in 1986, when we started recording the album Desire. Hayden very much wanted me to record a song called Echo Beach by Martha and the Muffins. And I was slightly against this. I felt that cover versions weren't quite right for me, but Hayden was such a fantastic guy. And when we were recording at Abbey Road, he did the backing track to Echo Beach, and it was stunning. It was really excellent, so I agreed to put the vocal down on it. Now, as all things, when I'm not sure if it's right for me, it turned out to be an absolutely brilliant move. And as you know, Desire came out in June 1987, and it was a huge success around the world for me. And it was a quite different album for me because by this time I was married to Robert Fripp, and also I used his guitar orchestra, the crafty guitarists. There was about 20 of them. So when we arrived at Abbey Road, Mike Hedges, Hayden Bendel and I set up the studio for 20 guitarists, and we started to record Desire. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, when we did Echo Beach, we didn't use any of that. Hayden did everything himself. He did all the programming, all the keyboards. Thus, it's quite a standalone track, but it's become one of the most favourite Toyah tracks live, especially at Rewind and Let's Rock and all of the festivals. And I love doing it. It's a classic 80s song, and I say it's 80s. I believe it first went into the chart at the end of the 70s, but it is one of those greats worldwide, and I'm really super grateful for having recorded it. So here is myself with the Toyah Band doing Echo Beach. Enjoy! It's out of fashion and a trifle uncool. I can't help it, I'm a romantic fool. It's a habit of mine to watch the sun go down on Echo Beach. I watch the sun go down. From 9 to 5 I have to spend my time at work. My job is very boring, I'm an office clerk. The only thing that helps me pass the time away is knowing I'll be back on Echo Beach someday. Silent summer evening, skies alive with light. Building in the distance, a realistic sight. On Echo Beach, waves make the only sound. On Echo Beach, there's not a soul around. From 9 to 5 I have to spend my time at work. My job is very boring, I'm an office clerk. The only thing that helps me pass the time away is knowing I'll be back on Echo Beach someday. Far away in time, Echo Beach, far away Echo Beach, far away in time. 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 Echo Beach. Hello everyone, welcome to Toyah at Home. That was Echo Beach. Now I realise I'm quite energetic and frenetic when I'm answering your questions, and it's because I want to fit as much as possible in, but also you're the only people I've talked to for a week. Which is quite like, you are literally the only people I have talked to in 7 days. I get to talk to journalists, but you know, I feel a little bit more connected with all of you because you're sending in such fantastic questions and you're giving me insights into how you see me. So we've got brilliant questions this week. The first one is from Jamie Beaton. What role have you turned down that you regret, if any, in film and theatre? I can't say that I've turned down anything I regret. You'd be surprised at what I do turn down. And when I say turn down, you still have to audition for virtually every stage musical that there is. I have deliberately not gone to a casting call for Mamma Mia because I just don't want to do that show 8 times a week. I'm really protective of my voice and my body, especially now. And those are big sings. I did an awful audition for Chicago about 20 years ago. I was awful. I was so totally unprepared, and I didn't get that job. But some of the really interesting things I screen test for, it's not that I turn them down, I just don't get them. I screen tested for the mother in Sisters Brothers, which was an American movie, and I would have loved to have done it. But they were looking for someone who'd had a really hard life. And again, I'm very small and I just didn't fit the bill, but it was such an honour to do that screen test. And I also ended up screen testing secretly. I had no idea who the screen test was for, but it turned out to be J.J. Abrams 2 years ago. I'm not allowed to talk about it, but when I found out that he liked my screen test and wanted to talk to me, that was the happiest day of my life. That really was the happiest day of the whole of my career. Nothing happened, nothing came from it. I didn't fit the bill, but just to know that he'd seen my screen test and it was set up specifically for him to look at, wow, I tell you, I hit the floor that day. So Green Manalish, you say, is there a film, past or present, you really wish you had been able to star in, and what character? Well, this is quite a predictable answer for me because I absolutely adore horror and sci-fi horror and science fiction, full stop. So if I could ever have been in one of the Alien films, even if I was playing an alien, I would love to have done it. I don't think I'm star quality, but the quality I have on camera is slightly strange and slightly surreal. So I feel that I suit science fiction horror really well. Last year I shot a movie called Dollhouse, which very low budget, but it's done really well. And my character became possessed in it. And I just knew this is what I do well. I'm a very descriptive visual actress. I do better when I can really kind of bring energy into a scene. So for me, it would be horror, and that genre of sci-fi and horror definitely made for me. And also Lady M of the Scottish play. I think I could really deliver a reinterpretation of that, and you've got to be brave to do reinterpretations of that particular Shakespeare, but it lends itself beautifully for quirkiness, and I would love to do it. So thank you, Green Manalish, for that. That's a fantastic question. Now, Brian Green, this is such a great question, and I've really spent a lot of time thinking about this before coming back to answering it to you this morning. Brian Green, you ask, if there were a musical or a TV drama of my life, who would I like to see play me? Okay, well, I'm not going to give you smart ass questions. I've always said I'd like Tina Turner to play me. Well, that's not going to happen. I think the best actress truly to play me who could capture, and I would absolutely insist this was captured and never romanticised about, would be my lisp. The fact that I've had to disguise disability throughout most of my life up until I was 51, and that of course was the limp. And that would have to be captured with such passion and with such belief, and the rhythm of being dyspraxic. And what I mean by that is I have this incredible energy and my mind works really, really quickly, and I'd want an actress to capture that. And I actually think the only actress in the world who could capture this is Sophie Anne Caruso. I think she's the only person who could play me. So I would like to say, Brian Green, thank you so much for that utterly brilliant question. We have quite a group of questions about Sunday All Over the World. Jerka Ralmark says, we are desperate for Sunday All Over the World live album. Are there any releases planned? Well, Jerka, this is really great for you to ask this, because 100 yards away is the King Crimson offices, and King Crimson's manager, David Singleton, lives there, and he is now mixing and remixing Sunday All Over the World, the studio album, it's in the roster for King Crimson to release next, and he's also putting together the first ever live album of Sunday All Over the World. And there's one song in particular that we've only got one existing take of, and it's on a cassette, and it's called You Bring Out the Worst in Me. And for me to sing that live was a tour de force, and I believe I give one of the best vocal performances of my whole career on this little cassette tape, which we are now having mastered and digitalized and brought into the present day. So in answer to your question, yes, yes, yes. It's all scheduled for release, and I hope it's going to be this year and not next year, because next year the whole of my first catalogue with Safari is coming out, and I'm touring that. So I want Sunday All Over the World out now. Theo, you ask, any chance of a Sunday All Over the World reunion? I mean, even one song on video with the musicians remotely playing for YouTube. That is a fantastic idea, and it is possible. Robert is incredibly difficult to tie down to performances outside of King Crimson. You might have noticed on our Sunday broadcasts, we tend to bring him back to what he knows. It's to do with what he's prepared to do and what he's prepared to engage with. And he is world renowned for being difficult. So. But he is behind Sunday All Over the World. As for a band reunion, let's see. We might be able to get King Crimson to join in on a Zoom or something. But let's see. I continually push for this because it's a fabulous album and it's a groundbreaking album. And like many things with me at the moment, in this present moment, I'm being recognised for what I did culturally 40 years ago. People are suddenly saying, hey, wait a minute. That originated with Toyah. So I think Sunday All Over the World will have the same effect. Then the next question that Craig has sent in from you all, it just says from numerous people. Sunday Lunch Films are crying out for a performance of Sunday All Over the World. Any chance of this? Yes, because David Singleton, the manager of King Crimson, is 100 yards away now, breaking down all the tracks, remixing the album, and he's promised me that we're going to get backing tracks for Sunday All Over the World, which means Robert and I will be doing Sunday lunch performances of it. And we're also going to do performances on ToyahAtHome on Saturdays. So we are scheduling that in, but it has to work around the kind of rhythm and expectations of my husband. Difficult? What? Not? Did I say that? Did I say he's difficult? You have to get him in a good mood. All of you know that. You have to get him in a good mood. But thank you so much for the Sunday All Over the World questions. Robert Jewell from the USA, you have sent in a question to do with when I went to America for the first time in 1985, when I was on tour with you and my husband with a guitar orchestra. And it was one of the first times I'd ever played guitar live, and my husband would only let me play one note. So Robert, you say in 1985 we gathered at Claymont, which is where the guitar school was, my husband's guitar school, and we learnt guitar craft. And by the end, we had to do a performance which involved a small group of players playing a single piece at a noon concert with an audience of locals, family and friends. And our small group of 4 was called Gang of Gentlemen, which was a nod to other groups with 3 men and 1 woman, in which you were the one woman. Yeah, I remember it really well. It was quite nerve-wracking because the whole point of this form of guitar playing with guitar craft is that you throw out everything you know conventionally about basic E tuning for guitar, and you go into viola tuning, which means you don't really play open keys. So this was all brand new for me, and my husband gave me, I think, the note of C to play, and I even completely ballsed that up. And I remember we went on to Charlestown in Virginia, and we did a 3-date tour or something, and I was always being told off by Robert, who is an absolute perfectionist. So anyone that doesn't know what guitar craft is, so the crafty guitarists play ovations. This is not ovation, this is my very beautiful acoustic guitar, which currently is tuned in standard E tuning. But we were on the road and all I was allowed to play was an open string. But that open string had to fit in with counts of 7/18. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. And we were all counting away and we're all absolutely terrified. So I remember that well, Robert. I remember it well. And then you continue. The piece was by Tony Jabal. And being that you were not a guitar player at the time, you did get to play this particular note for about 4 shows. I'm still not a guitar player, but I write on guitar, so you know it's cool. I don't think I'll ever be a guitar player. I think you've either got the knack or you haven't. So Robert, thank you very much for that question. Patrick McNamara, you are saying that you love the Humans box set and the Toyah solo box set. Thank you. That's fabulous. Your question is, would I ever do a duet type album with the likes of Kate Bush, Boy George, Gary Newman? Now, Patrick, it's so kind and it's so generous of you to think that Kate Bush, Boy George and Gary Newman want to work with me. I don't, well, they might do, because I seem to be coming culturally back into favour. I would work at Kate Bush at a drop of a pin. And Kate is very broad in who she works with. I mean, she's even recorded with Selene Henry. So she has a very broad scope, but she also knows what's really right at the right time. And if Kate ever picked the phone up to me and said, would you? The answer would be yes. Boy George has been talking about working with me for the past 4 years, and I think he's a very, very busy person, very successful in TV at the moment. Again, that would be yes, but Boy George has always said he would write the material. He's not a shared writer. He would write the material. I don't think Gary would ever want to work with me, just because I don't think he sees me as part of his genre. Now, I have a list here of people I would work with at a drop of a pin on a duets album. Mark Almond, I just love him. His taste, his performance, his style is spot on. Jimmy Somerville, I mean, who wouldn't want to work with that voice? Again, his taste in music, I think, is phenomenal. Now, I'm going to say 2 names here of people who probably would never even want to meet me. FKA Twigs, I think she's just utterly mind-blowing. And she's taken the work, she's taken the ground that Kate Bush has trodden on, and she's just pushed it further. She's a younger generation, so she's lifted the mantle and taken it a bit further. I would really love to work with this beautifully honed artist, because I ain't beautifully honed, but we'd have to find a place to put me. Lana Del Rey, I just love her work. And then I would not say no to Red Hot Chili Peppers at all. Or even Eddie Vedder, I just wouldn't say no. So thank you for that one. You've allowed me to dream. Thank you. Here's a really interesting question from Richard Tucker. Richard, I don't know if you're psychic. I'll tell you why I've said that in a minute. Have you ever considered recording Slave to the Rhythm, written by Simon Darlow, my co-writer? I know Simon Darlow said he had a demo of you singing the track in the 80s. Your voice is perfect for the song, and I'd love to hear you sing it. A studio recording or live. Thank you. Okay, I'm the first vocalist that ever sang Slave to the Rhythm. I did the demo recording for Simon Darlow in the mid-80s. And Simon and I were together 4 days ago, and we were talking about re-recording this song with someone I have just talked about this morning. And so, Richard, to get your question, I'm thinking, that's really timely. How did you know that? So, yeah, there is something going on with that song. As usual in this industry, it's moving along slowly, but this has been talked about for a couple of years now, and I think now the time is right. So, let's see what happens. Aaron Mark Coney Smith, you ask, what song is closest to my heart? Either one of my own or one from another artist. Well, I'm really, really fond of Sea of Sighs, which is off Sugar Rush by the Humans, Toyah and the Humans. And I really like this because myself, Bill Rieflin, Chris Wong, we worked on this tune, improvising together. And I came up with a lyric where I wanted to talk about the size of the sea. Meaning, that the sea is all encompassing and that we are smaller than the sea. And Bill, who loved to invert everything, yes, Sea of Sighs, that's really nice. And I'm not sure I ever said Sea of Sighs, but the song is so satisfying to perform live. It's chunky and it's wonderful, and it's got this beautiful kind of pushing groove from the bass. I absolutely adore it, and I adore the video that goes with it. We shot it on Worthing Beach. It was very cold. Dean Stocking shot it. Sean Chapman did my makeup. And then we went to a swimming pool where I was just floating in this swimming pool. And it's supposed to be about, time disappearing and all of that. I love it. It's probably one of my favourite songs because it is so great to perform live and to listen to when you've got it on the hi-fi. Another song I really love is the Rolling Stones Sympathy for the Devil. And I just love it because of the story of it. And it relates to one of my favourite documentaries, which is 20 Feet from Fame, which is about these really, really great backing singers of all race and culture who have contributed so much to music, yet they're 20 feet from fame. Watch it, it's stunning. And in this documentary is covered the history of Sympathy for the Devil. And, this song by the Stones would not be what it is without the history of American Southern music and gospel. So I just love that song. I love performing it. And I've only ever really got to perform it in stage plays and stuff like that. But, it doesn't lessen the love for it. And there's so many others I could mention, from Bowie's Rock and Roll Suicide to 5 Years, to Lady Grinning Soul, to Life on Mars. I mean, there's so many songs that are close to my heart. But thank you, Aaron, for that. And thank you, everyone, for your absolutely brilliant questions this week. They have been so good and so allowing me to delve deeply into my history. Thank you. Now we're going to leave you with a song that I wrote with Tim Elsenberg around 2000, 2001. And it's called Little Tears of Love. And I absolutely adore this song. The Toyah band adore it. It's a naughty song. It's a song that says that, hey, just because I've turned my 50s, and I was just turning 50 when we wrote this song, you know, it doesn't mean I'm less of a woman. This is a song with attitude. So see you next week. Please keep sending in your questions because they are brilliant and I absolutely love this. This is the Toyah band and Little Tears of Love. Stay safe, everyone, and lots of love from Toyah. Bye for now. And it's called Little Tears of Love. Nothing breaks like a little death. Taste the salt upon my breasts. Little tears of love and pain tumble down into my lap again. Your love comes and surprises me, leaves a sweet sticky memory, and we are flawless with each caress of every detail of all this flesh. This is now. Raise your voice. Be brave, commit, make your choice. We're all the devil, clothed in flesh. Come on, my baby, let's make some mess. Here and now, access my soul. Heal my heart and make me whole. I'm a devotee of your duress. Give me the word and I'll strip this flesh. Like a little death. Taste the salt upon my breasts. Little tears of love and pain tumble down into my lap again.